Hello and welcome to Vlogmas day 5, 6, 7, and 8. So listen, every day the past 3 days I've said, let's film. And I get on camera and I have nothing to say. Like I could not come up with one topic to talk about, nothing. Just been very quiet the last few days. So I apologize. I came up with content for the rest of the week, a little schedule, so hopefully that'll keep me on track. But we're in my kitchen again. I've been good about feeding the starter. Sorry if you hear, that is my dog. Sir, got our starter, been feeding it every day around 4:30, 5 o'clock. Just the half cup of flour, a quarter cup of water, warmish water, and it's looking good. We got some bubbles going in there, you can't really see. It smells good. There was a day there was a little bit of water on top. All I did was stir it up, and then I added a little bit more flour that day than water, and it got back to the right consistency. So just keep going. If you screw up, just keep going. Just keep going. So I'm gonna dump half this out and then feed it, and then we are gonna have a little chat. I was thinking today, and then we're gonna have a little chat. I finally found something to talk about. So I'm gonna feed this and then we'll get to talk, get to chat. Okay, I do have a little jazz playing in the background. Sorry if it bothers you and or gives you anxiety. I did see a comment. Not my intention. I need something going on, okay? I'm sure you don't want to hear Vanderpump Rules just screaming in the background. So today we could talk about weight loss. Now, I feel like this is a topic I've definitely covered on my channel before, but I feel like I just said every like 6 to 12 months, I completely gain a different perspective. And so I figured I'd share it. And there's a lot of things that I'm struggling with. And if I've learned anything with sharing things on the internet is that if I'm going through something, more than likely there are other people out there who could hear that someone's in the same boat as them, even if I don't have any solutions. Just knowing that you're not alone is always a good thing, right? To give you some credentials, back in 2018, I lost 150 pounds in a year due to an eating disorder. A little trigger warning. I am gonna talk about that just a little bit. I'm not gonna get too much detail. I have since been in recovery since 2021. But yeah, it was about 4 years. Yeah, so I struggled for a long time with that, and finally entered recovery, got therapy, medicated, all those things. And I gained about 60 pounds in the process. And, you know, when you start, you know, keeping your food in your system and not excessively working out, your body kind of just goes, well, here you go, we're right back. And I've always yo-yo dieted. I mean, I was on Weight Watchers when I was like 12. My mom put me on Weight Watchers. And I've always struggled with my weight, and I've kind of seen both sides, right? Where I've seen because I think it's two different experiences for bigger people, especially bigger adults. Either you were big your whole life and you've always been struggling with it. Maybe you've lost weight, yo-yoed, whatever, or you were thin and you gained weight in adulthood. And I'm not saying either is one or is harder than the other, but I will say they are very different, because I kind of feel like I've seen both sides, where a few years of my 20s I was thinner and now I'm bigger again, but I have always, you know what I mean? There was like a short period where I wasn't struggling with my weight, but I was struggling a lot with my mental health. And now we're back to struggling with my weight again. And yesterday there was a pasta making event at my aunt's house, just like my grandparents and cousins and stuff. And it was a really nice afternoon. I went for a couple hours. But everybody was taking pictures. And I just knew as soon as I saw those pictures that it was gonna ruin my day, and sure as hell it did. I have not seen candid photos of myself in a really long time, and it doesn't help that everyone in my family is like 5'2" and like takes their pictures like this, like they put it down to their stomach. It's like, why are you taking a picture like that? Have you never taken a picture before? You know that's the most unflattering for like literally anybody. Put it up. Put it up an angle way. You can't say that. You can't say that. You just have to say, cheese, you know. And just know that it's going to be the worst, most devastating picture you've ever seen of yourself. And that's exactly what happened. And I know there's going to be like a lot of candid pictures at the wedding. Like there just always is. And I just don't want to feel the way I felt yesterday with the camera. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to feel that on my wedding day. I don't want to feel that ever. Like, you know what I mean? But especially not on my wedding day. And so definitely like weight loss is now something that is on the top of my mind, which you might be thinking, if you're struggling with your weight, how is your weight loss not at the top of your mind? Because like, honestly, for so many years of my life, all I thought about was weight loss. All I thought about was like how good my life is going to be when I finally lose the weight, what kind of clothes I'm going to wear when I finally lose the weight. And I will tell you this, and I try to repeat this as much as I can. It was like chasing a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow and finally getting to it when I did lose the weight and realizing it was empty and realizing it solved none of my problems. In all honesty, yeah, I looked prettier and yeah, people seemed to like me more, but all of the internal stuff got worse, and it doesn't fix anything. Losing weight doesn't fix anything, and I'm just at a point now where I'm not so much. Here's where I'm conflicted, right? I've worked very hard since being in recovery at body neutrality. I don't believe in shaming people. I don't think that works. I've been shamed so many points in my life, and trust me, it doesn't work. I don't need to hear a skinny bitch in my ear telling me that I'm fat. Like, I'm well aware, okay? I know. And how bad it is for me and blah, blah, blah. I know. But I also don't need to promote an unhealthy lifestyle, which is what I'm living. I can't lie. I can't sit here and be like, oh no, I'm super healthy. Like, I'm a lot healthier mentally, but I'm not a lot healthier physically. I'm healthier now in the sense that I don't have a horrible relationship with food. I have not binged and or purged in 4 years. That's something I'm super proud of. I have worked very hard to maintain a neutral relationship with food, to maintain a neutral relationship with my body. I have tried very hard to not allow how I look to dictate how I allow people to treat me, how I allow people to talk to me. I don't accept bullshit just because I'm fat. Like, that's just not it. Like, there was a time in my life, for a long period of my life, that I felt like I deserved the mistreatment that I got because I was a bigger person. But now I'm at a point where I don't, like, that doesn't matter. Like, I learned my lesson. I learned that, one, there's no gold in the pot at the end of the rainbow, okay? You gotta fill that up with yourself and your life and your memories. That's where all the gold is. It's not from aesthetics, okay? And I also learned that weight, just like everything else in life, is not permanent. I always thought that I was gonna have this tool in my back pocket, which was my ED, and that was gonna carry me into the rest of my life of being a thin woman. We're not here either. From a morality standpoint, there are no morals or ethics with weight. In my opinion, there's not. It doesn't determine who I am. It doesn't determine how people can treat me. It has nothing to do with the core of my being. I wasn't handed a genetic lottery. 3 of 5 of my family members are on Ozempic. Like, yeah, like, this is not something that is a choice. It is a choice, but it's not a choice at the same time. And that's where I get so conflicted, because I know the choices that I'm making are leading to this lifestyle, but I also was given a certain set of cards that I have to deal with, right? So it's finding that, what can I control in a healthy way to be a healthier person, given the cards that I was dealt with, right? That's what I'm trying to get a firm grip on, because it is very easy to sit here because I have a deadline. A deadline in me is like the worst thing. And I know what I'm capable of, and that's scary. So approaching weight loss has always been this, like, since entering recovery, it's like this double-edged sword where dog. It's like a double-edged sword because I feel like I want to lose weight. I want to better my health. I want to be glowing and look younger. I also don't want to be promoting an unhealthy lifestyle. I don't want to have health issues. But I don't know how to approach weight loss in a healthy way. And that's where I think, okay, well then I'll get on GLP-1. But is that teaching me anything? You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, do you see where I come up with a solution and it's automatically a problem? Like, it's just like, how do I go about this? And so what I was thinking today, I think is a good sort of solid foundation, is I've worked very hard on building that foundation. I had to bulldoze everything. I had to unlearn everything that I've learned about food, about my body, about mental health. I had to unlearn that all and had to learn it through the lens of what I'm actually experiencing and not just what people say, oh, that's not a big deal. Like, oh, that's not real. Like, I feel like my whole life, we're getting real deep here, but I feel like my whole life, anything that I shared with people was invalidated. It was brushed off. It was dismissed. And yeah, I am very grateful for the fact that I have not had, I've heard some devastating stories about people's lives, and I haven't even come near that level of trauma in my life. I'm not saying that at all, but I have gone through shit. I have gone through shit, and I have expressed that at times, and it just seems to be constantly dismissed. And so what I've learned as I've gotten older is that my feelings aren't real. And so anything I'm feeling, I just have to like act like I'm not, because, well, other people know me better than I know myself. And at a certain point, especially with therapy and really working on myself, I was like, no, like, you don't get to tell me how I feel. You don't get to tell me what I experienced was real or wasn't real if you weren't there and I was the only one there and I was the only one who lived it. Like, I don't need your validation. What I went through is real. And whether you think it's a big deal or not, it doesn't matter. Like, I have had to detach myself from everybody else's perception of me because it was destroying me. It was killing me. It was literally killing me. I was trying so hard for people to see me a certain way and to control that perception so hard. And I thought if I was thin, it would be so much easier to make people like me. And guess what? It was. It was. People did like me more. And I don't mean just people in my life that I've known my entire life, which is crazy. I mean random strangers. All of a sudden, people are holding the door open for me or smiling at me. And it was a whole new world. And now I'm on the other side of it, and I'm like, I'm ruining my own life, my own future. I'm wasting every ounce of energy I have on trying to control the perception that other people have of me. Why do I care? You will never know somebody's true feelings about you. You will never know somebody's true perception about you, because they can tell you till you're blue in the face. You will never know what anybody's thinking about you. So why am I sitting here wasting my entire life based off something I will never know? But what I do know is how I feel about myself. That's a for sure certainty. And I didn't like how I felt about myself. I hated myself when I lost weight. I hated who I became. It was just, I look back and I cringe so hard. And I mean, I feel bad at a certain point, but I was very selfish. I was very vain. And I needed a reality check. And I got my reality check. Let me tell you, I've learned some lessons. But I needed to happen. And now I'm at a point where I don't like what I'm seeing. I don't like what I'm seeing, not from my aesthetic point, which kind of contradicts because I'm saying I don't like what I'm seeing, but I don't like how unhealthy I look. That bothers me. I'm not glowing. I'm not like radiant. I want to look how I feel. And I feel good. Like I feel good. I feel happy. I feel all these things, but my external is not showing that because I'm not living a lifestyle that would accommodate that, if that makes any sense. I eat way too much takeout. I do not work out. I don't work out. Point blank period. I don't work out. I have a family history of high cholesterol, diabetes, obesity, high blood pressure, and I'm living a life like you would think I was born naturally Paris Hilton. Like, no, and certainly there are genetics at play play, especially with obesity. So I'm not going to sit here and act like it's entirely somebody's fault, because there are so many different circumstances and medical conditions and medications. And again, I do not judge. Your body, that's between you. It doesn't determine who you are as a person. It doesn't determine my value of you, your weight. It doesn't matter to me. So I now go about the world as if everybody has my mentality, even though I know for a fact nobody does. Even though I know well, not nobody, but I know for a fact that not a lot of people do. A lot of people will brush me off or write me off or think that they can treat me a certain way because of my weight. Let them think that. What's that girl say all the time? Let them. Go ahead. Think it. What the hell do I care for? Like, I could sit here and I can rip apart probably a lot of freaking people if I wanted to, but I'm not going to. Because it doesn't matter. And if you want to rip me apart just because of my weight, then that says more about you than it will ever say about me. And I will never let that determine who I am as a person again. But I'm struggling with feeling confident with how I look. So there's like this constant battle that I feel of like, stay true to yourself. It doesn't matter what other people think of you. And then the fact that like, I don't necessarily like or feel confident in how I look. But then it's like, why don't I like or feel confident in how I look? Because I don't look like Alex Earl. You know what I mean? Like, is that the reason? And it's like, no. I know that I'm capable of more than the life that I'm living, if that makes sense. I'm an able-bodied person. I can go to the gym. I can live the life that I want to live. I'm limiting myself, and that's what bothers me. And I don't want to limit myself anymore. And I finally feel like I'm ready to make the changes needed to truly take care of myself. Meaning working out, meaning eating a well-rounded meal, meaning eating 90, 95, 99% less takeout than I've been eating. Meaning taking care of myself, truly taking care of myself. And something that is also in the back of my mind at all times is that I want to be pregnant by this time next year. I want to be starting our family immediately after we get married. And I want to be the healthiest version I can possibly be at that time before we conceive and before I, prayerfully carrying a child. Like, I want to make sure that my body is good. And right now I don't think it's good. Like, obviously you can't tell the future, and I have things that I can control right now that I'm choosing to ignore because I'm scared. I'm scared. It's a slippery slope. I don't trust myself with weight loss anymore. But now I have learned to trust myself that I got this. I know how to handle this. I know how to go about this. And I've also been working really hard on changing like my mindset, being more positive with the manifesting and the journaling. And I just truly feel like I'm working on mind, body, and soul. And I need to start working on the body part. I've been working on my mind and my soul, and now it's time to incorporate the body. And if anything, I just want to feel and look good for myself. I don't care about what other people think about me. I don't care if you think I'm the most beautiful person in the world, the ugliest person you've ever seen. It doesn't matter to me. That's your business. Your opinion of me is your business. So but I still struggle with like truly living that life. You know what I mean? So, and really planting that belief. So I think how this has to do with the GLP-1 is I've definitely looked into it. I've even talked to my doctor. I've gone on all the websites. It's out of my budget right now. I cannot afford it. The lowest I saw was like way more than I can afford right now. And so there's that. But there's also the fact that I want to prove to myself that I can do this on my own. Like, I want to prove to myself that I can establish the good habits and I can show up for myself even if I'm not seeing results. Even if I don't lose a pound. As long as I am showing up for myself and putting in the work and taking care of myself. That's what I care about right now. And yeah, so obviously that's going to be the new year. I mean, we're only a week into December. I guess we have 3 weeks left, but I mean, who the hell starts a diet? But I do want to start really just making plans, and maybe I'll share that throughout the rest of the month if that's something you're interested in, like what I plan to do, what kind of workouts I plan to do, maybe like testing some things, testing some recipes, and like what I can bring for lunch and what I can make for dinner, because that's something that I know works really well for me, is when I'm eating the same things every day. My body loves that. My body loves that. So I gotta find food that I can, that's easily accessible, that's affordable, and that I know that I'll stick to, at least for a little while. I really, really want to establish better behaviors and better habits. And so that way, when I do have a child, that I'm not giving you the genetic lottery, unfortunately, but I can give you the tools to go about life in a healthy way. And that's all I want, because I don't think I was given those tools. I love my parents to death, but they didn't have that sort of, you know what I mean? And I'm not going to fault them for that, but I do. I have the knowledge. I went to school for nutrition. Like I know that I'm capable of doing this, and the best way to lead is by example. And that's why I want to really, really establish this before I have kids. So that way, when I have kids, maybe obviously I'm not going to be perfect. I'm going to make mistakes, and obviously those are things are going to happen. I'm well aware of that. But if I can at least hand them healthier habits through example, because I know they're going to look at me just like how I looked at my parents. My parents were very like, do as I say, not as I do. And that's just not how children learn. So I know that they're going to be watching me, and they're going to be absorbing everything that I do and taking that into their own life. And I got to make sure that I'm good. So yeah, that's my whole big spiel. Sorry, this was pretty long, but let me know your guys' thoughts if you guys are struggling as well. Well, you don't have to let me know that. That's pretty personal. Yeah, tell me all of your problems. No, you don't gotta do all that, but I appreciate you being here. And yeah, I got the rest of the week planned out with Vlogmas, so we will check in with you guys tomorrow. Okay, bye.